Good morning everyone and welcome back. I've just been to town, grabbed a couple of things. The reason I'm wearing a high-vis shirt is because I went and got some fertilizer from Balance just down the road, and while I was there I also went and picked up our brand new fertilizer spreader. So it's a pretty exciting day on farm. Haven't actually put any on yet. There's a ton and a half of ammo in there though, and you can say it is definitely a bit of an upgrade compared to the little Vogel spreader over there. Went with the Cavernaland, so this is the sort of basic model, which is all we need. Everything's pretty manual. To adjust everything, I actually need to adjust this because I was working it out before. I need to go down to 30, so undo that, spin that knob round, and that's the rate that put it on it. Do that side too. But it's pretty flash for us. So it's got lights on the back there because you can't see the tractor. It is PTO driven, and it's also got hydraulic rams just in there which shuts it off. But the cool thing about this is that this drum here, which is what the fertilizer gets spun out at, it actually comes onto the floor in the middle there. So instead of hitting the plate, it actually comes into the middle there, and there's something cool about it. I don't know all the ins and outs, but it's supposed to protect the granules a little bit more, because like on the old spinner, it sort of drops down and it hits the plate while it's going round, and it sort of breaks them up and creates a little bit more dust, and it doesn't spread evenly. So this is supposed to sort of fix that problem, because I think the seed or the granules are already spinning by the time they hit the plate. It's something like that, and it sounds good anyway. But it's very cool. So the base model actually was what you see here. So originally it was this bit, and then they threw in an extension in the price, which we were pretty lucky at. It was a bit of a bargain, and then I wanted to get another one up top here because I just wanted to make sure, like, it just makes it filling it easy. Like, then we can get 2 ton of urea in there pretty easily. It's got cover on the top here, so pretty easy to open and close it just like that. I said they threw in one of these extensions and we paid for the other one, but it's hard to believe that just one of these extensions was $1,600. Like, there's not too much to them. I didn't think they'd be quite that pricey, but it's good to get it on anyway. I had been looking at second-hand ones, and there was quite a nice one that came up, but it went really quickly and we missed out on that. So we called into Power Farming the other day. I knew that they did Cavernalands. I was sort of shopping around a little bit. They had a second-hand one there, but it was like the real flash model, the Geo spread. We don't have a tractor that could have run it, so it was pretty pointless anyway. And then I just seen that sitting in the yard and sort of asked them what it was price-wise, and it actually wasn't too bad. It was, I think it's like their old stock, and they're getting like new stuff in. So the new, or if I was to get that one now, it would have been probably would have been $8 more grand than what we paid for it. So we did pretty well. I think it's definitely a good bargain, and pretty keen to go and try it out. There's sort of 3 settings on here, and there's an app which I've done it through. So that's set, that's on the right letter, and that one there, because we're doing quite a bit of fert, or not heaps of fert, but because it's not small seed, we need to have all 3 holes open. Thought I'd only get 1.5 tons in the first load just to see how it goes, and I'm pretty happy I got the second extension, because if I was going to get 2 ton, I'd definitely need it. You can see that it's sort of bridging where the first one is there. But this is the Ammo 36, so it's 30% nitrogen, and there's sulfur in it as well, because that's what we're a little bit deficient in. To be fair though, it's a little bit unexpected. We weren't sort of looking to go out and buy something new or spend this sort of money on something like this, but it's sort of like I said before, the opportunity arose. Like, the price, it was good. I was actually looking at other brands, like Cavernaland's a pretty good brand, so I'm happy there. But looking at other brands, I was looking at paying 10k more for the exact same thing. So the price was right, but I also got some soil tests done a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, because we needed to put maintenance fertilizer on the farm, and the results from that came back as good. We don't actually need to put maintenance fertilizer. Everything's good except sulfur levels are a little bit low. That's why we're putting it on in this fertilizer, and the pH levels we're sitting good, but they're just a little bit low. So we're going to put 1 ton of lime on as well to compensate that, and then we should only have to do 0.5 ton every year. And the reason we're spreading it ourselves, there's a couple of things. We're 3 k's from the balance store or the fertilizer store down the road, so it's only a 10-minute drive and we're there. And this fertilizer is going on at 85 kilos to the hectare. It's a low rate and it's not really worth getting the trucks to come out and do it. Like, it's good putting bulk fertilizer on with them, but when you're putting lower rates on, and especially like Sustain, which goes on at 60 kilos, it's beneficial to put it on ourselves. So it's actually not going to take too long to sort of pay for itself, really. And this ammo, 36, you can't get it in bags. You can only buy it bulk from the store. So that's another reason I couldn't do it with that spreader, and I'd only get sort of, what at 85 kilos, I'd only get sort of 5 or 6 hectares done a time in that, whereas I can get 2 tonne in here probably. We'll see how 1.5 tonne goes, but it gives us options. Came with this box as well, and in here is a thing for working out what rate you've got to put it in, or the settings. So you fill that up and you weigh it. Comes with a little scale there, and also a shake container to get like the proportions right, which is there. So you fill one of these up and you shake it, and then it tells you how much percentage wise, or you put it all on the app and then it tells you what settings. So I'm actually not going to do that today, not because I don't want to, but there was a setting on there with like pretty much exactly the same fertilizer. So I'll run it out and we'll see what it comes to. I'll log all these paddocks that I put it on the computer, and then it sort of works it out for the 1.5 tonne that I've just picked up. So I'll be able to sort of see if it's borderline accurate, and if it's close enough, that's good enough, but should be sweet. Need to be in 540 PTO on, and I need 515 revs. And I'm away, spreading. It's hard to see the pellets though. It's doing a 24 metre span, so 12 either side. It's going pretty good so far, though it should be a little bit dusty already, eh? Look at that. It's a little bit hard to get the meters right, like 12 meters from the fence. I'm just going to sort of pace it out now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need to get used to that. Like, there's no GPS. If you had GPS, it would be a lot easier. You can adjust the vanes on it, so you can go from like 24 meters, which is quite wide, or it's quite wide for me at the moment, down to like 18. 18 is probably better, like 9 meters each side maybe. You can see the fert just sitting there, and it looks pretty even, which is good. So there's a space so you can see it through there. The only other thing too is you can see, looking down the side of the tractor, there's quite a big overhang out the side. There's probably at least a foot there. So what we might need to do is push these back wheels just out just a little bit to make it a little bit more sturdy on these hills. It's not too bad, but I've been doing pretty flat paddocks, so that might be an idea. 1500 divided by 85 gives me 17.5 hectares. And I've done probably 5. See those little red tabs there? So I'm going to go and see how they pull in. That just means that it's spreading now. I'm not actually the only one having problems with my maize. This says to this maize paddock in here, that's actually our neighbour Calvin's. And you see this big bare patch in there? I think there was a little patch that was wet and they couldn't plant it, but this massive big bare patch is all rat damage. So he's put rat bait out there, he's baited like heck, but that's pretty bad. Like, that's quite a big area. I'm making my way back. I've gone and done the far corner of the farm, so I've done all these paddocks through here and all up at Bucks there. You can see through the sight glass that it's below the grate level, so we are getting low. There might be a couple more hectares worth in there. At this stage I feel like it's going on too light though, because it certainly feels like I've done more than 17 hectares, but I won't know until I get back and add it up. Sometimes you think you've done a lot, and then when you sort of add up all the paddocks you haven't, but I don't know, we'll see. Time will tell. Brand new again. Quite wide though, definitely takes up the whole bay almost. One thing that kind of was annoying is that I had to use my own balls. They didn't come with any, like the pins came with it, but it didn't come with any link balls, which was a little bit annoying. I really just need to get another set and they need to live on it. I'd love for every implement to have their own, so then you're not taking pins out or doing anything and then nothing just gets lost. This is the homepage for the Fert, so it's proof of application. There's a map of the farm here, they've got all the paddocks on it, and these blue ones that are highlighted are what I have just done today. So I'm just double checking, make sure these are all the ones I've done, and they were. And if I come across here, the area was 17.2 hectares, and it's putting it on at 86.9, so 87 kilos to the hectare. Well, I'd say that's pretty bang on and doesn't really need changing. Like, I could play with it a little bit, but I think that's pretty good. Like, even plus or minus a couple of kilos, or even sort of 4 or 5 kilos, I would have thought wouldn't be too bad. But that's the beauty of these spreaders. You can sort of dial them in pretty good. They're sort of designed for like big flat paddocks, but it should work fine for us. I guess I don't need this one anymore, so might chuck that on Trade Me or on Facebook or something. Probably ask $1,000 for it. It's pretty reasonable. I took the tractor and picked it up, and they had to cut that PTO shaft down about 150 mils to make it fit, but it's actually quite a small shaft, isn't it? Which I guess it doesn't really need much because it's just turning those spinners and that's it. There's actually 2 shafts there, so at the moment it's on the Rabbit, the faster one, and there's also one there if you're doing like smaller seeds or you're throwing it less maybe. I think you'd put it on that one. That's the inside of it. It's just got this grate on the top so nothing big gets down there. Everything sort of just flows. I think it helps it flow. And you can, I'm not sure how you do it, but you can lift this up. Oh, I think you need to put the little tool in there, and then you can lift that up. See, there's just like a hinge down there, and then that'll just lift up if you need to get a piece out or whatever. This is that little tool I was on about. It's just that, so you must whack it in and do something, but I don't really need to. That's pretty much it though, and like I was saying, it is very simple. You can get pretty advanced spreaders. I don't think we need one, not at the moment. Like, we could go down the GPS route in the future. I know you can get like a GPS unit in our tractor, and then you can get the real fancy one, the geo spread ones, which have auto shut-offs, and they shut it off once you've gone over areas and stuff like that. I don't think we need that at the moment. Maybe in the future, if regulations get tighter, we could probably look into it, but this should last us absolutely ages if it's well looked after. I'm stoked. Like I said, we got it for a good price, and more than happy. It is pretty heavy. I don't know if I'll get 2 ton in there with that tractor. I should do. If I was doing flat paddocks, I'd be sweet. It was just a little bit light in the front end when I was sort of going on a couple of the hills, but other than that, it should be pretty sweet. I didn't actually get much footage of it spreading, and it was a little bit hard. I was in a little bit of a rush. I just wanted to get it on. I didn't have a lot of time, and it was a little bit hard by myself. Like, you can't put the drone up in these little paddocks because you're always turning and steering, so it makes things a little bit difficult. I'll do that once Dad's back at some stage. I'm going on holiday tomorrow though, and I'm actually looking forward to that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up. That is super exciting for us, and like I said, absolutely stoked. So see you next time.